What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw 4 TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Zach Hankins for the donation to the channel via the Cash App. Much respect to you for showing love to True Raw 4 TV. Now, I want to talk about this port strike that is going on right now. I think it started yesterday. And this involves dock workers on the eastern seaboard from, I believe, Texas all the way up to New England. And these workers operate collectively on ports that make up approximately 50% of the United States supply. All right. These workers, let me make sure I got the information correct. All right, so here we go. Dock workers at dozens of ports in the United States went on strike Tuesday for the first time in 50 years over better wages and the use of automation. Now, when they mean automation, they mean that essentially these workers are being phased out by machines. Technology is destroying the manufacturing community, or the manufacturing industry, I should say, as far as workers, the middle class, along with inflation, which is why I believe that they're asking for a pay raise. Inflation, as we all know, which crept up during the Trump administration, has skyrocketed during the Biden administration. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this is not all Biden's fault, because a lot of this had to deal with the fallout of COVID, some of it at least. But let's not get it twisted. Inflation is crippling this country, in particular the middle class. So they are seeking, I think it's a 50 to 77% wage increase. Yeah, so the International Longshoremen's Association, or the ILA, negotiating on behalf of 45,000 dock workers at 36 U.S. ports that collectively handle about half of the United States. I just said it, half of the United States seaborne imports, is asking for a 77% wage increase. Many people do not believe this is economically feasible. The U.S. Maritime Alliance, or the USMX, which represents the port employees, raised its offer to a 50% increase in wages over 6 years. The alliance also has pledged to impose limits on automation. Greer believes that this commitment, and Greer is, trying to get this guy's full name. Greer is Jason Greer, who is the former National Labor Relations Board agent and consulting executive. And he's president of Greer Consulting Incorporated. He said that he's never seen a wage request as high as the current ask. Quote, "This is not just about money. This is about the fact that they are making a statement because they want the world to know that the Longshoremen Union is strong, is unified, and more importantly, that you need us a lot more than we need you." They feel like that they are being taken advantage of, and that they are basically that their wages have been stagnant for quite some time. And that's just representative of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's a sickness that's going on, an economic sickness that's going on in this country for a while, quite a while now. But it's greatly affecting the middle class. More than likely, if you're listening to me, you're part of the middle class, and you know it. You can go to the grocery store and you buy $400 worth of groceries. When we were just younger, 15, 20 years ago, if you bought $400 worth of groceries, your refrigerator and your pantry are full or damn near. Now you buy $400 worth of groceries. I mean, it's a good amount, but it's not what it once was. Not to mention the fact that when you buy a bag of potato chips, or you know what I'm saying, you buy any product where they can uh, put air inside of. You open up the bag of Lay's. When I was a kid, you open a bag of Lay's, the Lay's was up to the top. You open up a bag of Lay's, only half the bag is full up now. You know what I'm saying? So we all know what this is. But look, make no mistake about it. They're taking, effectively, even though I empathize with the dock workers and their plight, they're taking the United States as a whole, they're taking us hostage. And from what I've read, this is going to cost us $5 billion a day. Okay? $5 billion a day. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to explain how this works. So, virtually everything that we get as consumers, most of it is imported because we don't get any, we don't have a lot of American made products. So, we're okay right now because the supply is plentiful here. But as the supply dwindles and these motherfuckers aren't at their job, best believe we're gonna start feeling this. This needs to be a big story. Fuck Diddy. Fuck Diddy. This is more important, bro. But people don't pay attention to this type of shit. So right now, if this strike resolves itself in a couple, let's say a week or two, they're really not going to feel it. But if this lasts, say, months, which I've read that's their plan to do this will cripple the United States economy. Cripple it. So I'm just going to say this. If this strike lasts, say, if this shit is still ongoing 2 weeks from now, I would advise you to go out and bulk buy a lot of your products that you need. Tissue, anything that you need that's you know what I'm saying, a necessity. If this still going on 2 or 3 weeks from now, I would advise you to go out and make some mad dashes to the store and get that shit, because if this goes on until November, December, and the next year, well, I tell you this, FedEx, trying to think of the other one, I'm having a blank right now, but FedEx, what's the other one? Somebody in the comment section will put it out there. I don't know why I'm brain farting right now. But all of these other alternative expedite services that you can order shit from, you know what I'm saying? Amazon, I guess, is another one. Amazon, even though they use FedEx and all that other stuff. But you get what I'm saying? These people are going to make a killing. This shit goes on for months. You know what I'm saying? So, now look. Joe Biden, the Biden administration, they could invoke the Taft-Hartley Act, right? Which is an 80-year-old act, which basically the United States government or the federal government or the president could invoke this, which would force the workers back to work. I think it's effective for 3 months or something. So I'm saying he could order them back, but you know what I'm saying, traditionally, Democrats have always been pro-union, which is why I did that video the other day saying how it's shocking that Trump in some union households is more dominant than Kamala, because historically Democrats have racked up when it comes to union voters. Part of the reason why Hubert Humphrey had that big surge toward the end was not only because he went against the Johnson administration's foreign policy on Vietnam, but also because he was effective at winning back union voters in October into the election day that previously were going to back George Wallace. Union voters, especially in the Northeast and Midwest. So that's why he was able to take Pennsylvania. That's why he was able to, take Michigan. That's why he was able to win some of these Union strong states, or at least narrow the margin. You know what I'm saying? So that's changed. That's why I did that video. Part of it, But anyway, Ronald Reagan, I think it was back in 1981, he basically invoked Taft-Hartley, and he fired. I think it was pilots. I think it was like 10,000 pilots that he fired, and because they were striking, he ordered them to come back to work within 48 hours, and they didn't do it. They didn't comply, so he fired them, and he banned them from ever being hired by any federal agency. And I think it was Clinton that 10 years later or 12 years later or whatever, he allowed these people to be able to come back and work for federal agencies. So I doubt that Biden will invoke this, at least anytime soon. So look, more than likely, I would say it's probable. I'm not going to say likely, probable that this gets resolved in a timely manner. But it is possible that this could drag on. Now, could this affect the election? Possible. If this drags on, possible. But I don't know if by November 5th, we would really be feeling it. If the election was in January or February was still going on, hell yes. You could argue by default, people who already have an issue with the Biden administration. I'll tell you this. People who already may have an issue with Biden, but they're not crazy about Trump, and they're probably going to sit this one out. Hey, if their pockets are hurting, which I don't think is going to be the case by November. I think it's going to be resolved, or you're still not really feeling it by then. But if they were, then that might motivate voters to come out and just vote for Trump by default. But remember this, though. Remember this before I close the video. Don't forget that in that interview that Elon Musk did with Trump, what was it, back in August? Remember in that interview, Trump said something to the effect of, if I, to himself, was in a situation, because he was congratulating Elon Musk for being a guy that was good at firing strikers. And he said, basically, if I'm in that situation, I'm going to fire those bastards. You know what I'm saying? Which is illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's illegal for employees to fire striking workers. Now, I'm not talking about the president invoking Taft-Hartley. I'm talking about employers, outside of the government. It's illegal to fire union workers who are striking. In that system, so I don't want people to get confused. But do they say the president should fire the Reagan? So look, man. So Trump ain't exactly as pro-worker as he claimed to be either. You know what I'm saying? He likes to position himself as pro-worker. You know what I'm saying? A blue-collar guy, but he really ain't. He's an elitist too. But we'll see, man. We'll see how this play out. We'll definitely see. I have a suspicion that this is going to be resolved. But yeah, this is going to cost the United States economy $5 billion a day. So just keep an eye on this. If this resolves itself by mid-October, then it'll be a nothing burger. If this is still going on by Halloween, then I would start getting a little bit concerned. If this does drag on for months, then prepare for the worst economic catastrophe since the Great Depression. And I'm not capping. My cap would be a little fucking small ant beanie. This would destroy the United. I don't think I'm being facetious when I say this would destroy the United States economy. Not to mention the fact, to be honest with you, the thing that really could hurt the Biden administration is if this war between, which the media don't talk about, because I told you the media is left leaning. If this war that's going on between Israel and Israel and Iran, even though the war is expanded to Lebanon now, if this thing escalates, then that would push the narrative more so that Biden is leading us into World War III and he's feeble and all of this crap, you know. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.